Carty General Contracting donated all the services as far as the excavation of the rock and moving it to the new location. When we got the rock excavated out of the ground, we noticed that there was a stress crack that kind of went through on an angle in the middle of the rock. Then we also stripped off all the paint off of the current rock, which was anywhere from, in some spots, 2 inches all the way to 4 to 4.5 inches thick. And kind of, to be honest with you, the paint that was on there was kind of the thing that was holding it together. After we went to go drop it into the new spot, obviously everybody knows that the top half broke off. And so, I mean, we didn't anticipate that exact happening. It was an obvious shock to everybody who was standing there watching, and I think a lot of people's hearts kind of dropped. What we did to piece the rock back together is we used a high-strength concrete epoxy that is used in today's building standards for retrofitting house foundations out here in Southern California. And so we got it pieced back together, and we used, I don't know, probably about 3 gallons of this concrete epoxy in strategic locations to let it dry and become one unit again. And then from there was a few gaps in some areas where it didn't fit back perfectly together, so we used a rapid set concrete mix to fill in those gaps, to hold it together. And then we put a coat of epoxy paint over the entire thing to help separate all the layers of paint or anything from deteriorating from it, and to give it a uniform look.
One more, guys. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you.
Woo. Let's take it to bed. Get the bed. Where's Hal? Where's that?
So I, thank all the alumni for the wonderful idea. And then also thank you to CJ and to Ted and the rest of the Lancers and Carty Construction for doing just a tremendous service to the college and for restoring our wonderful rock. So with that note, I'd like to turn the ceremony over to President Hershberger, who will do the formal dedication.
This is a momentous occasion, the 100th anniversary of this rock, or as some of us had been calling it as it got smaller and smaller, the pebble. And so we are so grateful to CJ Carty and to Ted and to the Carty Construction Company for volunteering its time, its staff, and its effort to move the rock and restore it to somewhat of its earlier grandeur. And again, we thank the Lancers for taking this on as a service project and for all that they did. I mentioned in some setting that the Lancers were the first to put together an endowed scholarship too for a Whittier student, one of the first society. So they deserve a lot of credit for a number of ways that they have contributed to the life of this institution.
We could not have done this without Elizabeth Robeson. Where are you at?
Elizabeth,
come on forward. We got some stuff for you guys. We had some special hard hats made with our Move the Rock logo, the Whittier College logo, of course the Lancer Society logo, and then a little plug for my company. So here's your hats. There you go. Yeah.
involvement in helping move the rock, I believe that I have a much stronger connection with the rock in the way of just having it mean something to me at an individual level. The fact that I was, able to be there firsthand and like moving it with my brothers and with my alumni, it puts something for me to be proud of in helping contribute to it in a way that I don't think a lot of people got that opportunity.
Oh, it looks great. It looks larger than it was, and I think it's probably about the size it was when we were here. So.
I think it looks fabulous, and I don't think I realized how much it had sunk from even when I was a student. I think I always thought that the shrinking of the rock had to do with some damage that was done, that pieces had broken off, but seeing it as tall as some of the pictures that we see in the library, it's like, wow, it really needed to be bolstered in some way.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And it's good for another 100 years or something, right?
I'm glad the way the whole thing ended up turning out. I'm glad it didn't turn out to be an ordeal. I'm glad it was fixable, that they didn't need to go and grab another rock from somewhere and restart it. I'm glad that we were able to keep the tradition of it alive.
So I think it was a real good idea. And of course it allowed us to fix it so that it should be there for many years to come.